Anybody giving Winston-Salem State any chance against North Carolina A&T this weekend? Chris said no. Move on. No,
probably not.
No disrespect to Ram Nation, but that game hasn't been competitive in many a year, and it won't be competitive this year.
Zach?
No breakdown needed. A&T by 40.
Are we covering the spread?
Okay, all right.
What's the spread?
FCF Sportsbook had it at 25.5. We'll easily cover that.
Y'all ain't covering no damn spread against them.
Alrighty, buddy.
25.5.
Alrighty.
I think A&T should come out on top in this. Handily.
No, not much word. It'll be A&T victorious, point blank. We're reaching to try to find a reason, but it'll be A&T point blank.
Hey, all right. So Craig, I don't even want to make a prediction. If we ain't beating these fools 60 to something, then I'm gonna be upset. So, give me the last word, Craig. Take us out of here, man.
We're gonna put 60 on y'all next week. Okay, we're gonna put this Winston-Salem State right there.
Well. It's about Ram time. We got to sit down and talk about what happened over at Aggie BBL Truist Stadium yesterday evening, as North Carolina A&T survived, had to come back against Winston-Salem State University Rams. 27-20 was the final score. They ended a over 5,000 day drought against Winston-Salem State University. So we do want to, congratulate them for that. But this was going to be fun, guys. This is going to be fun. Obviously, this is WSSU Ram Nation first and foremost. I'm SJG, the founder and your host. And I got a special guest in-house and a special guest in her house. First off, ladies first. We got the one and only Amber R., a proud graduate of Winston-Salem State University and maybe other places, but this is what we're going to focus on. And then to my left here, we got Alonzo Turner. He is class of 2009, my class, greatest class ever, mass communications major, current doctoral candidate at Winston-Salem State University. And Amber, and then Alonzo, just how you guys feeling, man? Yesterday was a lot, but how y'all feeling?
I feel like yesterday, what's there to say? All I'm going to say is in the fourth quarter, the stadium was very quiet when we were up 2017. That's all I'm going to say. I didn't hear from the band. I didn't hear from the students. The stadium was quiet. And I feel like that says a lot to just our immense pride, but also the heart that the athletes put out there yesterday. They definitely left it all on the field, and win, lose, or draw, I'm definitely proud of what I saw yesterday. I think that we, of course, have some things we need to clean up on offense, but we didn't back down, and I'm definitely proud of us for that, for sure.
I agree with you, Amber. There's 4 quarters to a game, and then there's the hidden quarter, as I like to call it. So the hidden quarter, that's final 4 minutes of the first half and that first 4 minutes of the second half. And that hidden 8 was very, very crucial in terms of how the momentum swung with A&T. Obviously, both teams came out the gate with big plays early. You had an early turnover for Winston, which both did well. In terms of our defense, capped off by a touchdown run by Ruff. The extra point was very key later on, but just overall, we'll get into all that later on, but just the entire energy that the Ramley brought coming into Greensboro, it was evident that our fan base and ultimately our players weren't intimidated by the adversity that we were anticipating facing in Truist Stadium. So it was really good. It was really good to just see that the 14 years were more than worth waiting for. We waited 14 years. We even waited a little bit extra to get that final score. Yeah, there was a theme about this game, and that theme, I got one of them around here somewhere. Hold on. There was a theme about this game.
besides the action on the field. And that theme, ladies and gentlemen, is time. So if you're a 90s kid like me, you know, there's this movie that we all know and love. It's called The Jacksons, American Dream. And there's a part in the movie where Michael is in the studio recording Human Nature. And he does a take, and he's like, stop the music. And then he just... And then they just... and they just click, and they just... All right. From the top. That's what it felt like was happening in the fourth quarter of that game. And not only even the fourth quarter of that game, we'll even talk about at the end of that first half when A&T got a timeout before my guy was even on the ground. I'm just saying. There's, you know, in any game, there's always questionable refereeing, but there was questionable refereeing, questionable timekeeping, questionable. I mean, there was a certain point where the A&T guys were, I mean, they were talking greasy to coaches, officials, and whatever, and it was like all dogs were off the chain, you know. So, you know, but we'll get into it. But first, I do want to thank again everybody for joining this. This is WSSU Ram Nation. Like button, and if you're watching it on Twitter, I do have this on my Twitter as well. Please go ahead and like the YouTube page there. Try to get over to 500 by my birthday, November 2nd. We're at like 310 now. Honestly, I would love to get to about the end of the month, but we'll see. But anyway, you know, we do want to. This is not only just about WSSU. Yesterday was a big day for WSSU, and definitely we'll talk about the football part, but not only for the football part of it, but just the university as a whole. You know, the spring semester just started, and so we welcome Benita Brown, our new chancellor. You know, earlier this year. You know, we had a great show about that. Shout out to Jeremy Lee and Eric Price for jumping on that conversation. And, you know, so this was the first NAA meeting, National Alumni Association meeting, was actually held on the same day. Ran a little close. Some people thought it was going to be. Some people, yeah, you know, talking about keeping with the theme of the day. We lost our Ram time for a minute, but you know, that's neither here nor there. You know, people were there. From what I understand, I wasn't there. People were there. People were passionate. You had a chance to meet our chancellor, Alonzo. You were there. You know, just kind of tell us, you know, some of the high points and things and takeaways for those of us who weren't there, and you know, and also you're a lifetime member. Why you felt like that was important for you to do that?
Yeah. So yeah, man, you mentioned it in terms of even just this year being my first year being a life member for the National Alumni Association. Actually, what brought that on for me was not just staying engaged with Winston post-graduation. You know, we love Winston, but also it came out of a bittersweet moment because there were plans where I was thinking about going to CIAA, and obviously we got ousted before people's planes landed. So what I did was like, well, the amount of money that people would typically spend on CIAA is actually the cost of my membership. So I was like, people have been known to spend between hotels and games and planes. You can easily spend a band. Right? You can easily spend $1,000 at the CIAA. So I was like, well, that's what it costs for my membership, and you don't have to spend it all at once. You know, you can pay it in increments. For myself, I did it all at once that weekend. Really I want to say out of heartbreak, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna support WSSU in this way. Break between school and between classes. It was just a really opportune time to be able to come to the NAA meeting. We had a STAR training Friday, but we had an NAA meeting on Saturday morning, and it was great to again get a feel for Chancellor Brown. You know, games are won in the off season, right? And that's with sports.
And lost.
Yeah, game won and lost as a whole. And in July, we had a big transition with the chancellor. We had transitions with the head coach, Corey Thompson. Johnson for the men's basketball team. And so now getting that feel in the room, and a lot of people that were on Zoom, I know with the university cabinet, and just really acclimating people to her vision, being able to reaffirm and reassure people that some changes are coming. And within her vision, a lot of that is about being able to continue to keep alumni engaged, being able to keep alumni going, being able to keep alumni informed about not only myself, both of us actually for that matter, class of 09 graduates, 15 years removed from for me, fundraising, athletics, just wanting to see the university excel is something that keeps me going. And seeing that energy in the room from Chancellor Brown was really great. Goes to NC and Thomas. We also were able to get a bit of information in terms of the Q&A, where the Rambley were able to ask questions to the Chancellor's cabinet from the provost and other members of the cabinet about different. You're not on the Zoom or basically in those rooms, you miss those key moments that help you understand why those decisions were made. So it was great to see homecoming, of course, November 9th, Fayetteville State. You're on the clock. You know what time it is. But outside of the game, we also have some exciting events lined up where something for the alumni concert that people will be looking forward to is we have Monica, Anthony Hamilton, and Money Long as part of that lineup.
We got Monica in Scorpio season. Let's go.
That's a vibe. That's a vibe. That's one hell of a ticket, honestly, for the concert. So some really exciting things. And again, even with the football team, we'll be celebrating the 1999 CFL taking over 2000, the Rams football and the 25th anniversary of our leaders and captains of that team. We've already kicked off the fundraiser for that team. We want to be able to try to double that months away from homecoming since today's September 8th. So, yeah, it was good to just really be in the room with Chancellor Brown and get her vibe and get her energy. As she has a great pulse for the university as a Ramley through and through.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Appreciate cheering on the Rams, and I think, and I'm sure that even as we become for other of us who, who are, it was a little, you're a little bit less seasoned than us, but should we give her that respect there, always there and keeping us informed. Got our guy Kim Spears who says the rest of the Aggie season will be sponsored by Preparation Sweating for sure. Let's see things that allow hit on there, and I'm sure there'll be other places that you can see that. And I just, I would say for sure that Syracuse, he was all over in Syracuse, but he's always plugged in with what's going on at WSSU. He comes and attends games. Season ticket holder. Again, he lives in Syracuse. He's only going to be able to make a couple games, but he's got that season pass because he understands investing in it. And also, Corey Williams, Corey was a member of the 1999 and 2000 team that took over along with the men's basketball and Cash Money. After Coach Thompson was that synergy of that 25th anniversary, and so he took the initiative to reach out to athletics and along with Corey and put devise together this plan. You know, we're always hearing about graduating champions and everything like that, and that takes money, right? You know, we lost to Johnson C. Smith. Do you realize we lost to Johnson C. Smith for that? So, you know, so and they getting money so anyway, so you know, I just wanted to make sure that you know, he gets his flowers as well as Corey and everybody that's been involved with that. 25,000. You know, a lot of people aren't happy with the amount of money that we took for this A&T game. Let's just be real. A lot of people are not. And
question that came up.
Yeah, a lot of those are the type of questions that would be at. People are not happy. So a lot of people are not happy with the amount of money that we got. And so it's like, well, look, you know, as a Division II team, you know, we are in certain places, and we have to be at the point where we can say, hey, you know, we got enough. That's not enough money, and not feel like we have to take, you know, certain things. Not saying that that's what happened, but you know, again, just you know, we want a winning program. We want winning programs. We want to support our student athletes. And I know, Amber, you as a former student athlete, I know you know, can speak to that. Like, we want all of that support, but all of that costs money.
And you mentioned, because you point in terms of one of the questions that came up was about the A&T game, how the tickets came about. And to Etienne Thomas's credit, as the AD, you know, she had to go to bat in terms of being able to really negotiate and push for those 300 tickets that we were looking at, and looking between 300 and 350, because initially A&T was they were very territorial, especially with them being the home.
Surprise.
It's been that way since 1890.
1891, yeah.
Really since 91. And I was doing this with SJG because Stephen literally has a history lesson on this. But again, those tickets where it's like, okay, there was so much negotiating that had to happen to get the 300. And so now, like Stephen was saying, when we were meeting with Etienne Thomas about the fundraising initiatives, we were looking at, again, student athletes have GPAs, right? Grade point averages. But we were also positioning as, when we look at our athletics programs, what is our GPA, right? If our GPA and our branding is graduating excellence, but then what's your GPA if you were to grade your fundraising efforts, right? So you have your GPA and your branding, but then you have your GPA and your standing, right? So the G is your giving, right? And your giving, your alumni giving rate impacts your P, which is your partnerships, right? Because corporations are looking at, hey, Alonzo, it's great that you're a life member. You gave $1,000. That's wonderful. But, and I won't say but because but can nullify. You're one person who gave $1,000, as opposed to you have 10 or you have 100 alumni who gave $10, right? So it's $1,000 on each side, but for the alumni giving rate, that 100 donors goes a long way. So even right now, as we're talking about this initiative, we have $25.6 thousand that have been raised since the campaign went live Tuesday. Of that $25.6 thousand, we have 2 months away from homecoming. So ideally, if we can at least get 100 donors through that fundraiser, again, this is consistent with the Horns program, right? Where they're talking about we want to get 100 Horns members, right? So giving is it's a year-round sport. You don't want to just hear from your alum. You don't want to hear from the university in terms of just day of giving, right? You want to hear year-round. It's a year-long sport. So you have your giving, you have your partnerships, and it's for the A, which is the acclaim. So the acclaim gets into your accomplishments. This is where you get into, okay, we're able to get more scholarships. We're able to get into the acclaim in terms of student athletes, not only being CIAA Player of the Year, but also being able to win those championships. And again, exposure, those partnerships is located, and where you just like, oh, we're the king of the play, but no, your acclaim puts you in a renowned position. And of course, people love the support when the program. So everything you do is part of that branding. It's smart. It's wonderful. Yeah, great start. And there's not an if, but when we do go and look to negotiate again with A&T, we can say we're able to raise X dollars on our own. So we're not just going to take, 30,000 here or 40,000 here. We're able to raise or match that in our own fundraising efforts. So
and
that plays a role there.
Yeah, and it's also even about, in that it's also knowing what we bring as a university. Like you said, they're gonna try to do a little bro thing. I've seen the tweets talking about, I love an A&T home game, and I'm like, yeah, but they don't look like that all the time, and you know that too. So you're gonna use you're gonna use that as branding for you, while also telling us that we only worth this. And anyway, an alumnus, knowing that there are people out there.
Yeah, I think the history of the game is important in the first place. I know we both we're 30 minutes away, so it's definitely a family. But like you said, I think it's really important to always know our value. I hope that there are future conversations for more games. I would love to see it every other year. Ourselves out there, and also bring that rivalry back. That was such a monumental game for not only continue like a dream. I was so excited. Ever since I went to Winston, I said I want to get A&T on the schedule, and so it took a little bit longer, but it finally happened. It was well worth it. The game was so fun to watch. I was screaming at Hollywood.
Here, just from start to finish. Obviously, they sold out their homecoming, which they always do. There was, thoughts. A lot of people felt like this was going to be a sellout. It took a little longer, maybe than some people expected or anticipated. I think on our side there was a little bit of confusion, and I hope I didn't play too much into that, and some of the stuff that I did. But it's like, we got our 300 to 350 tickets from them, and they sold out within hours. And I'm sorry to somebody, I bought a ticket, but I was on the field for being media. So somebody was asked out, and from the or had to work a little harder. But regardless, the Ram, they got their Ram money. So but no, it was great. So Friday night they said it was a sellout, and then it was like, oh no, it's not really a sellout, because basically what I was informed is that A&T, they, as they should and as we should, season tickets. That's what they're pushing. From way back when. So I think they started selling theirs in June. And so, that's why it took so long to get that's why everybody was excited about getting those tickets. Everybody was looking. Shout out to my guy Kevin Roberts with his Aggie Pride Diet shirt on his video. But it was definitely a situation where a lot of people were excited about the game, and they basically, as he said, they were just trying to they knew that this was going to be a big game.
Yeah. And
they said that they were able to, they had some reserve tickets, I guess, from the season tickets that they didn't sell. And I think some of those were still available at the last minute. But yeah, folks were trying to get to, trying to find the Simon Green Atkins map to to tickets for like the last 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like,
Who got the ticket?
who got, you know? So it was like, you know, we still, I think we just now getting into the paperless tickets and things like that. So, you know, some of our season Rams and some of our not Rams that are, so get out navigating it, but we got through it. And you know what? I think we need to show the some, you know, some of you know, some of the commentary that. But before we get there, we came in, talked to some Aggies, and you know, it was all. I mean, as we would expect, it was all love and was from A&T. Do you know what I mean? Like some folks that I talk a lot of junk to, you know, on Twitter, you know, because that is my comments about it. And yes, even though Winston did not win, they're cooking, you know, because that's just what I'm going to do. You know, we will be getting at those dogs, no DMX. So, but it was just great. And yeah, what time did you get there, Amber?
It's like the
okay,
delayed,
so
delayed train of it. No, I had some. It worked out. We still were able to hit the tailgate though, and then we just won the game. So,
as I know, you are, you know, you're trying to get through the crowds, the traffic. I mean, what was it like? And I got there quite early. How was the traffic? What were the vibes going in for you? Everybody wearing their school colors and everything like that. What were the vibes you guys were?
Rivalry. Everyone was sharing plates and seeing old friends and family members and stuff. I was trying to figure out that the club. Like I was like, holding the. There was so many people trying to transition into the stadium. So everyone was talking, seeing old friends, being friendly. So it was a good.
So I see we do have a canine in the chat. They're in the chat. My guy, Brandon Cyrus. Sorry, my signal is glitching. You know, those Aggies. You know, they're the technical school, so they might cut my feed. But you know, he's a real cool brother. You know, for someone that went to that school, so to the farm school. So shout out to him. Close only counts in horseshoes. All wins matter. All wins matter. Do you know what time it is? And is it really the time as you think it was? Even in that, yeah, everybody was cool, but everybody was like, we're going to blow you out. You know? And EU media. And I will be cooking them on the shows as well.
This weekend? Chris said no. Move on. No.
Back to Ram Nation, but that game is competitive this year.
Zach?
No breakdown needed. A&T by.
Are we covering the spread?
Spread.
FCS Sportsbook had it at 25.5. We'll easily cover that.
Y'all ain't covering no damn spread against them.
Alrighty, buddy.
25.5.
Alrighty.
I think A&T should come out on top in this.
No, not much word. Point blank. We're NC point blank winning.
I don't even want to make a prediction. Give me the man.
We're gonna put 60 on y'all. Right there.
I'm still looking for the 60 points they said they were going to put in there. I'm still looking for it. I'm yet to find it. I have yet to find the 60. So I saw 40, I saw 60. I'm in overtime, like, it's tied. It's a tie game. Like, where is this?
I mean, you scored. I don't know.
The disrespect is just like the disrespect is crazy. First 60 points. Are y'all starting the game with 40? Like, help me understand how you understand. What type of
Pride.
pride?
Aggie pride.
What's going on? What are they going to have? Why they adding here?
And then NCAA. Don't get it confused.
It's not me. I mean, maybe they could beat Virginia Union, maybe Virginia State. You know, I like to see them go on the road. It's yeah. So we start off the game. WSSU gets a pick, and then they go off and get their run. And I think they were over on that side, you know.
Yeah, I missed the first part of the game. It's like the first quarter. You had to walk all the way to the other side.
Yeah. It's and then missed the extra point, and I felt even right then I was like, man, we need every point. Every Ram point.
Everyone.
And yeah, I was like, oof. So you know, and then A&T.
They had other opportunities to make that point up, so I feel like that was definitely a dagger. But I do feel like to I thought they were gonna do, and then they kicked off. Okay, y'all, but you know,
there were moments, right? Because it's again, you got 4 quarters, we got overtime, and there's so many different moments and drives within a game, and so to the stadium, and you end up hearing the roar of a certain side of the stadium. You're like, oh, something. Right? So you talk about coming in the latter part of the first quarter, and you could hear, okay, A&T must be doing something right. Like, it's loud over here. As you're anticipating getting to your seat, again, this ambiance of what happens when these two schools get together. Social media. Shout out to Dot going back and forth, and like even with these videos of like 40, 60, here's what they think about it. Like, and I was like I said, Steven, I said A&T should be
audacity. The
Oh, one
A and both Aggie and A both start with Audacity.
Oh, one is here. So you think just because you got 13 against Wake, 10 of which came in the first half, you're gonna the moments, the missed extra point where you're like, man, okay.
Yeah. Second quarter, so A&T came back, got a touchdown on their own, a rushing touchdown on their own. So they took a 7-6 lead. They were still, they and I guess maybe they felt like after that, their way to, but it didn't happen, right? Half was too predictable. Well, too predictable. It played itself, it kind of backed itself into a corner. WSSU fought with all night. Again, they get the first score off the pick, and they got good field position. There were special teams play that comes to my mind. There was a kick return early on. I think it was after A&T scored the 60-yarder the week before. He was like, bring it out. And I was like, no. You know what I mean? Exactly. So, at the very start of this game, to me, North Carolina Central. And I was telling people that, see, people remember the last 2 years, specifically in 2022, when we just but last year, it was a 20. So I think a lot of people, but I was like, they are not top 25 team. They are a program that is still searching home win up to that point. And, they didn't know how to win. They had less winning experience than WSSU, actually. And so I felt like this was a game that, again, if they stayed close and they didn't let it get too far out there, they were right there. So you get into that, it was just pristine. It really, and I know for me and Alonzo, we were there during the D1 attempt. So it gets a bad rap, but I feel like what I loved about it in that era was the teams. We were the underdog. We were never the favorite. We knew we were gonna have to fight for our respect. It's good when you're winning, but when you lose, but when you are trying to play up against teams that have more scholarships and more resources week to week, and they don't care, they go, you know what I mean? It's like it builds that. So I felt that same vibe, and it's been a while since I felt that. Like WSSU, they were the underdog, but they were fighting. The players felt the energy. We can have a discussion, and I'm sure we will at some point about that right in HBCU. To their credit, they definitely made noise when we got on third down. And then also, not only did they make noise, then we decided to make more noise because we're like, you're not about to out. I think I have to look at conversions. So it was like it was like, yeah, like literally, you know, we amongst ourselves, we really go at it sometimes a little too much. But it's like no, it was like I don't know. What did you think?
It was very much that because like you said, man, in the pivotal moments of the game, quarter, the drive where A&T was able to go and get that field goal for the half. People say you can't turn back the hands of time. A&T was like, watch this. They was doing everything. My man, the play wasn't over. They got the timeout, stopped the clock, added 2 from 4, got 6 seconds. And it was like, here we go. We got just enough time for you to get your unit on and then kick the field goal. And, you know, there was that moment again, even in the third quarter, you talk about just energy, right? So for us, gut check time came in the third quarter. 3 minutes left in the third. It was like, okay, we're not out of it in terms of it being a winnable game.
But you in danger, girl.
We were definitely in danger. Listen, we were.
There was a lot of that last night too, by the way, right?
I was one of them. I wasn't in the red page of the group last night. Shout out to Randall Callaway holding it down.
DJ 360.
Play by play. So y'all owe him a check. But anyway, that moment for a touchdown that we had to put some points up. We actually even started chanting, "Get up, SU, get up." And then we went up there and got a touchdown. And then, you know, before that, we had, towards the end of the third, set the tone for the remainder of regulation. And there were some moments where we were just like, because of the coaching, which we'll get to that in terms of X's and O's and what happened in the game, what won, what didn't work. There were some moments where we ran the ball 30 times. Same play. You got to come out on 30-10, put the backup quarterback in. The guy who run the ball, right? So these were some moments that deflated the energy in terms of the Ramley, and we were still very much. We never felt like we couldn't beat A&T from a fan standpoint and from a player standpoint, and I love that for us. You brought up a really good point in terms of David Lee. Because David Lee had that experience of playing in Durham at O'Kelly, he knew what it was to play against a FCS, you know, a type of school. So he didn't come in there intimidated. Even when he was coming off of not feeling 100% last week, he knew what it was like to be able to play in a tough environment, playing in Durham against the Eagles last year as a true freshman. Now coming in this year, shout out to David Lee also. He was the CIAA Male Scholar Athlete of the Year last year. Wonderful GPA, but he wasn't intimidated by playing in that atmosphere because he had a taste of it by playing in Durham, and so it really showed as his confidence builds throughout the game. You know, initially some of his throws were more inside the field. We want to see the outside shoulder a little bit to the sideline, but once we started going vertical, we had the Aggies on the ropes. We had them on the ropes, and they were the ones who were in danger as we were going to the mid and late fourth.
Yeah. Amber, your thoughts, just in that second half. Also, you definitely got to give the rest of your sound some love. People were acting like they didn't know who they were.
Oh my gosh.
People were acting like they didn't know who they were. Red Sea of Soul, all of this stuff. But you're feeling your vibe from being in the crowd and just that second half and the energy behind the team. Like what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I definitely feel like coming from halftime, something shifting in terms of just energy, just feeling like continuing to stay competitive, really make a shot at winning the game. I know the crowd was trying to get more engaged. The players were like, stand up, cheer, make some noise. And so, really, in those crucial moments, we were really just trying to be supportive, let them know that we're definitely in the building, and so they could make important plays. But I will say the choices to run the balls were definitely interesting because I feel like we had a few, I think at least 4 close INTs almost on the board, had defense moved quicker or jumped sooner, or so I was like, it was getting a little scary. So I will say predictable, yes, but I feel like I'm always opting for the safe route. Let's not turn over the ball, especially in that little time period where we were so close to their end zone and get a little quick pick six. So yeah.
Yeah, nah, it definitely is. You know, so you know, I think you know, and it was won't run this too long, but just kind of keep it close. Just guys, give me your closing thoughts just about the game and how you feel about the season moving forward. We do have another game this week, the home opener. Season tickets are still on sale. So just let's talk about let Amber go first, and then Alonzo about how you feel like what do we get from this game that you think maybe helps propel us forward?
I think the word I would use is confidence. I think no matter who your opponent is, you can still go out there and put your best foot forward. Stats are cool, conferences are cool, but at the end of the day, everyone is just trying to put a W on their score sheet. So I think the main thing is confidence turning into what is a heavy season for us in terms of opponents in the CIAA. So I'm definitely excited to experience conference play. I know we have some things to clean up, but I definitely feel like we are definitely going to have a better season than last season.
You was so I think you were on. I'm gonna pull your receipt now. I'm gonna give I think what was you giving? You was giving us 3 wins. Or you had decided on 4 wins.
That one wasn't yesterday, so
Okay. So my question with that, as we see, so we have some more canines in the chat. Shout out to Dave, who predicted that they would beat that spread, that 25-point spread. But he did. I did get a chance to chop it up with him and some other Aggies, so it was cool. I will. I haven't. No fleas. No fleas. No, I was not bitten. So now it was. No burn treatments. It was all love. So. But yeah, they got to win. All wins matter. All wins matter. But are you still sticking with? Are you after last night, Amber? Does that give you any more hope for more wins? Because okay, you go ahead and give me that, and then I'll.
I will say hopeful, yes. So maybe 4. But I don't know. I feel like the thing that I feel like with specifically CIAA conference play, I feel like records go out of the window. Like we've seen so many upsets in terms of how we thought games were going to go and they didn't go. So I feel like, especially when it comes to specifically conference play, you really never know how the games are going to go until they're played. So it's kind of fun to go off of records, but we'll really just have to wait and see.
Okay.
Yeah, you talk about the game and what we take away, maybe think about the Denzel Washington meme. Like I'm living here with something. I'm from around the way. I'm leaving here with something. Like I think that's the vibe of the Ramley, where when we look at that game again, we have to make sure that we play a full 4 quarters. We've yet to see that from this team, not just in this season, but throughout the Massey era. We're just going to be fully transparent for what it is. Those different lulls that we have, again, the scoreless second quarter and the vast majority of the third, where we struggled to be able to score, move the ball up and down the field consistently. You both talked about it earlier, where even our first touchdown, thank you, defense, right? Shades of Bluefield State, right? Where the 4 touchdowns we had at the half in that one, 3 of those came with short fields because Bluefield State couldn't get out their own way. In the second half, we had 0 offensive touchdowns in that game. In this game against A&T, obviously fourth quarter we picked up. We were able to move the ball more consistently. I would like to see us be able to do more of that vertical passing early on and throughout the game to help balance those runs, right? Using the run to set up something bigger down the field, some play actions, being able to take advantage of the middle of the field when it's there. With that said, as you mentioned, home opener against Ohio Dominican University. I'll be in the boat.
The other ODU.
You know,
not that one, because I know some of y'all thought that it was all Dominican. No, it's not that one. So
we gonna be at the boat. You know, I'm gonna be at the boat on Saturday, home opener. So it's wonderful. I think this is a team, honestly, as wild as it may sound, I'm gonna stick with the 6 wins I talked about when you and Amber and Dot and everybody was on here before. I feel like it's doable, especially because you have a team, even this Saturday's game, where they're not the same talent as A&T, but this is also it's still a very winnable game. And if we can sit there and minimize our turnovers, something Amber mentioned, right? We didn't have fumbles, we avoided the interceptions that were, you know, we avoided those, but we also have to make sure we don't. It's hard to win when your ops are wearing the same colors as you, right?
Yeah.
So we have to make sure we get on, you know, the penalties.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like every kick that was a legal procedure, and it's like I think that's when you talk about the 2021 game against Central and this game right here, 2 chances where we had a chance to get an FCS upset over, a team, another HBCU, bigger HBCU, better funded HBCU. It was the little things then, and it was the little things last night that cost us, and it's the little things that have cost us in CIAA games too. I had said with this, I was like, I don't want the seeding to get blown out, and I don't think that they will. I was like, if a blowout is really bad for the season, and I said, if A&T looks good and we lose by, 2 scores, then I'm like, okay, we'll see what's what. And I said, if we lose by a score, I'm gonna feel like 1, we left it on the table, and 2, that's the same way we can lose another game.
Legit.
And again, we talked, and Coach Massey talked about it, all offseason. They lost 4 games by 15 points. And in every one of those games, they were leading in the fourth quarter. And what happened last night? They got a lead in the fourth quarter.
352 to rank.
And again, like I said,
352 in my life.
Like I said, I mean, look, they was finding
right. Finding it. If they could reverse the hands of time.
I mean, but still, even with all of that, it's like I feel like the players, I don't feel like the players got outplayed yesterday, right? At all.
Yeah,
I feel like the players played up to their capabilities, and I feel like they wanted it more than A&T did. We're not even going to talk about that A&T player that got in in the players' face, in the coaches and players' faces in front of the officials after the injury.
Right, yeah, right and after his teammate got hurt.
Yeah, or the guy who told the official don't throw the effing flag, and he actually did throw that effing flag. So, right. Little things like that, on the sideline I'm able to see, I'm able to hear, it happens. They did have some penalties that, I know their coach talked about helping us get down the field, but I mean, they were driving down the field before that. And I think that actually probably helped A&T because WSSU probably could have taken some more time off the clock.
Yeah.
That last drive, they could have, I think once they got into the 40, they had those 2 penalties. Yeah. And it's like WSSU could have taken another minute off the clock. And if they have another minute, even when we talk about, like I said, there's always reference, but even, someone made a mention of, and someone who's not a Ram also made a mention of the fact that the A&T late in the fourth quarter, it was an obvious stop.
Yeah.
It was an obvious stop to everybody. I was on the field and everybody knew it was an obvious stop. Everybody could see it. They could see it on Gate City, but apparently the referees decided they were going to give A&T the first down. And then thank God for replay, You know, thank God for replay. Otherwise, they would have just gotten that first down. So, you know, it is what it is what it is. It ain't what it ain't, you know. I think for me, the big thing was just give us our respect. And, you know, they're not going to give it. Most of them are not going to give it. There are some people who are saying, hey, you know, you guys played a great game. You know, you played hard or whatever. A lot of people are saying they just don't know how, you know, they're finding every which play, including downplaying our attendance, including downplaying our impact on attendance. You know, again, there's so many ways we could go. You know, I mean,
Somebody said they're not going to invite us back, so we're going to see.
It
ain't money game. They're not going to invite us back.
Let me tell you something. A&T, all the people, shout out to Cyrus, all the Aggies that are watching this. I understand 300K from weight, national exposure looks good until it's a 45-13 box score. When you play Winston, you already know, outside of homecoming, this is a guaranteed sellout. And since 2000, you've only had 5 non-homecoming sellout games, which Winston has been responsible for 3.
4.
Because of last night.
Yeah.
So
we are 4 to 5.
80%.
Every game has been a sellout.
All except one, which the other one was an Aggie Eagle.
Yeah, Aggie Eagle. Yeah.
So,
but every game between Winston and A&T has a sellout.
Sold out. So what are we talking about? We have to stop this myth that A&T doesn't get anything from the game. And for example, right now, a lot of the people that are saying that or creating that narrative are saying, well, it doesn't benefit us in terms of FCS playoffs. Y'all not going to the playoffs this year. You're not. You 1-10 last year. Playoffs. You're just trying to win a game. You literally just won your first game. If you were to play Elon yesterday instead of us, you wouldn't sell out and you would have lost. So, you know, that's just, it is what it is. And that's not shade. It's just, we have to contextualize and speak the truth to the youth. So you have a sellout, which is a win for you. You have us, we showing up. I'm looking at the other side of the 50, and I'm like, I know people tailgate and everything, but second quarter, half time, third quarter, you still see empty seats on the TV, on a televised game. So we have to stop this false narrative that A&T is doing Winston all the favors, giving us a game, when the reality is we're also selling tickets, we're bringing people, and you know that whenever we come to Truist Stadium, or even if y'all want the smoke in the bowl, or if y'all want the smoke in the Legacy Federal Credit Union, hey, wait, let us rent that out for you. Wherever you want.
Well, no, actually, you know, it's Truist Stadium, you know.
Stadium.
So A&T got Wake Forest got the Big Mac, they got the Big Mick. You know, so there we go.
So the point being is it's going to sell out because again, it's just the branding and again the camaraderie. We think about like both Stephen and Amber were talking about even just the 14 years. We've got people that have graduated from both schools, that have married people from both schools. Some people have graduated from Winston in 09 and went and got their master's or doctorate from A&T, right? And so, again, this whole false narrative of, well, A&T stands more to lose, it's not true because you're not even competing for the playoffs this year. But also, there's something to be said culturally about how this game is even this year, for example, is even bigger than what you're going to have for the G-Ho game. I'm not talking about the events and everything and party, all that. When I talk about G-Ho, I'm talking about the fact that you're playing Hampton and Hampton's band will not be at G-Ho, right? So you can't say that even though both of those two games are going to be sellouts because it's homecoming, you can't convince me from an experience that Hampton's band not being there and their fans not going to travel because they don't want to see their band is going to be bigger than what you got last night. You see what I'm saying? So those are the things we have to look at when we talk about negotiating. Again, we look at what it means to have these two schools in close proximity, like Amber said, whether it's annual, whether it's every other year, to have something where it's normalized without fostering any type of elitism. You know, we have the banter in terms of, yeah, A&T, y'all look real CIAA-ish last year. Come on back. Y'all have the banter in terms of trying to little bruh us. But when we come to the negotiation table, seriously, like, you got to put a little bit more respect on that check for Winston.
Yeah, man.
We're doing y'all some favors financially.
Really. It's like the street philosopher Tupac Shakur once said, "Learn to see me as a brother instead of two distant strangers."
Legit.
And I know you want to act like your big brother and all of that stuff, but seriously, look out. That's how you treat your brothers and sisters. Right. Like, I mean, we could go with this back and forth.
That's how you get people like Birdie. You see what happened to Tupac when Shep ain't treating him like a brother, became Birdie, became a villain. You want us to become Birdie? Huh? Do you want that for the culture? So we are your brother, but we're not the little one.
Yeah. We're not the little one, and we're not Bow Wow. Yeah. So just so it's just, and we'll close. But there's a conversation on Twitter. There's a lot of conversations on Twitter. There is one by a young lady, Levian Bell. I think she's a Howard graduate, but she is from North Carolina. I think she's got ties to one or both the schools. And she says she talked about them playing us in Bowman Gray. She says, "Why? Bowman Gray is a great stadium, and y'all have been there countless times before. What's the issue?" One of the most vocal Aggies, good brother Tyler Ball, who works there, he says, "That's the AD's feeling about this. I've worked with him for multiple years. And administration before that, if WSSU is not a conference opponent, we're not playing there." She says that's silly. Y'all aren't a conference opponent for WSSU either, and they made the trip. Are y'all too good to go to East Winston? So we've got another Aggie poster who goes by Power Boy. He says, "We lose hundreds of thousands of dollars playing in Bowman Gray." She says, "Why is that about y'all? This about y'all as if WSSU isn't losing money?"
That y'all be doing at an engineering school. What is this?
As if WSSU isn't losing money traveling to Greensboro. It's about us because we have a bigger athletics department, and at the end of the day, we have more mouths to feed. As we seek to get our athletics budget more in line with our current conference members. And she says, if I were WSSU athletics, it wouldn't be worth to keep scheduling games against y'all in Greensboro if it continues to be the host site. That's unfair. Why? You all make money from the game, not to mention because of the history. We pay y'all above the going rate for D2 money games. Another CIAA school? Don't do us like that. Don't do us like that. Don't do us like that, because I went to your games against St. Aug and Shaw, and no disrespect to them, but the stadium was not filled. Season openers, just like that. Another CIAA school would have accepted far less. Well, we're not another CIAA school,
and they know that. Another CIAA school, you would not even be negotiating anything.
Right. Because the other thing is, the other CIAA schools don't travel well within the CIAA. So
thank you, Amber. If the school mattered that much to y'all, you wouldn't let the CIAA. But keep going.
Right. Yeah. So she says it's not my school. I'm just a supporter. I don't see the benefit of having to continue to play a school at their home stadium for potential future meetings. Y'all would accept it only playing. Okay, we might. I don't know if we lost Amber or if she just had to hop off. But yeah, so a lot of dialogue going on about this. Please give us your thoughts. If you're Aggie, if you're Ram, really love to hear from the neutral, from our neutral
HBCU fan.
Our neutral HBCU family. Yeah, but this has been fun, Alonzo. For sure, appreciate you for coming through. Hanging out with me this weekend, and as we I gotta think, man, when you go back to and I see Amber's back. When you go back to Syracuse and you're up there in that cold, and these thoughts will keep you warm of this past weekend.
Yeah, man. We're excited, man. We got game day at Bowman Gray against Ohio Dominican University. It's a nice game to get us back on track, get us above 500 again, right before we go back into conference play, because we got 3 the hard way coming up. We got Virginia State after that, then we got Bowie State, and then we got Virginia Union University. So we got to be able to get our mind right.
The axis of evil, yes.
We got to, and again, channeling that Denzel, when we do that 3 the hard way, we got to at least get one. We leaving with something. We from around the way. We leaving with something. So we need this game to, again, just be able to tune up and refocus and be revived going into those conference games.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And as we bring Amber back in, no, we owe them because last year we went to their place and came away with a close loss. So we looking to do that. So hopefully we'll get. I really, for me, I would love, and I know it's a long shot, to have that same energy in Aggie Stadium, because I know nobody else shows up to our games like that, and we feed off of the other thing. But I would love to have for the student athletes. I felt like they felt like they understood the importance of the game and they could feel it, and it's just the presence of people being there. So obviously, it's the fall. There's a lot going on. People have children and families and plans that they have, but for those couple of days of the year that we have games at Bowman Gray, beyond homecoming, I think it's just great for the student athletes to as DP says, put an I in the CAA for NC A&T. North Carolina A&T might have what it takes to compete for a CIAA championship. So there's that. But just go support WSSU and support the student athletes. And I will let Amber have the last word, and then I'll close this out.
Yeah, I just will say one thing these past two games have me definitely excited for the season. I think we are used to a good football product. We've been trying to, rebuild, restructure, re-elevate the program, but I'm definitely looking forward to how they compete in these next couple of games, especially on the road and up north, because we don't have divisions anymore, but still conference play is always again rivalry games for us. And y'all say WC versus everybody, so they're always really interesting games. So definitely excited and looking forward to that.
Nah, you are 110% on it. As we get ready to close out, this out, WSSU 27-20 lost to North Carolina A&T on Saturday. The Aggies did not cover any type of spread, not lunch spread, not a bed spread.
Tailgate spread, they had that. I give them that. I saw catering was on it. They had a nice little gold, Aggie gold and Aggie blue on the catering. Like when you walk in on the blue mat, I was like, that's nice. They did have that spread covered, but yeah. And we know what, we still won that though, because 892 crew again. Shout out to Corey Williams. Shout out to Keith Stevenson, man. Y'all be holding it down. Again, so proud of y'all. We love y'all. Thankful for y'all. Rams is undefeated. Shout out to the powerhouse, Red Sea of Sound.
No disrespect, but that was no battle.
We saw there were some moments where the Aggie cheerleaders came and joined, and I was like, well, okay.
The unity cheer, that was cute.
Gowns, beautiful gowns. But it was great. It was great to see all the blackness, all the HBC love and black love, and hopefully it won't be. I don't think it's going to be another 14 years before we do this again.
Yeah, man. No worries. I got a couple other HBCU platforms that I need to go on because I got some receipts to pull. I got some receipts because there was a little too much laughing, a little too much kikiing, a little too much definitely's, a little too much. This hasn't been a game since. So yeah, we're gonna chop it up. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Please, if you haven't already, please make sure that you go ahead and like the stream. And please make sure that you subscribe to WSSU Ram Nation. And we will see you guys on the next one. And remember, it's always WSSU versus everybody. Always and forever. Throw your dubs up. Throw your dubs up. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.